Hello, welcome to another Wise Guys tutoring video. In this one, we're going to look at some business mathematics, and we're going to look at turning ratios into their lowest terms. So, let's look at the first one here. We've got 4 to 16 to 20. These are all even numbers, and so that means they are divisible by 2. So if you wanted to start with a division of 2, that would be all right. So 2 into 4 is 2, 2 into 16 is 8, 2 into 20 is 10. They're still even numbers, so we can still divide them by 2. So 2 into 2, 1, 2 into 8, 4, and 2 into 10, 5. So this is our final answer, 1 to 4 to 5. Now, because we've divided by 2 twice, we can actually multiply by 2, and we could have actually used 4. So we can just quickly check that. And 4 into 4 is 1, 4 into 16 is 4, 4 into 20 is 5, and there's our answer again. Okay, so if you could have seen the 4 right away, go ahead and use the 4, but if you couldn't see the 4, then you could have started with 2, the even number. All right, a little bit more tricky. We've got 27 to 81 to 225. So they're all odd numbers. Now, when you have odd numbers, you can actually add them together. 2 plus 7 is 9, 8 plus 1 is 9, 2 plus 2 plus 5 is also 9. And because they add each two-digit number and the three-digit number add up to 9, all three of these numbers are divisible by 9. They're also divisible by 3 because 3 is a multiple of 9. But probably easier just to start with the 3. So 9 into 27 is 3. 9 into 81, well, 9 times 9 is 81. And then let's just grab our calculator. And 225 divided by 9 is 25. So then there's our answer, 3 to 9 to 25. All right. Now, we have a decimal number. When we have a decimal number, what you want to do is look for the decimal number that has the longest decimal. So the first one's a 2 decimal, the second one's a 1 decimal, and the final one's a 3 decimal. So this is the longest decimal portion here. So then what we do is we divide in multiples of 10. Now when I mean multiples of 10, I mean like 10, 100, 1,000, and so what we want to do is multiply each by each decimal place that we have, but because we do to 1, we have to then do to all of them. So for the first one here, we've got 3 decimal places, so for each decimal place you add a 0. So then there's 3 decimal places, so you want to multiply by 3 zeros, so you want to multiply by 1,000. And so we got to multiply everything by 1,000. So multiplying by 1,000 means we move the decimal 3 places. So 1, 2, 3 for the first one, add a 0. So 360. 1, 2, 3, we'll add 2 zeros and make that 200. And then the last one here is just 1, 2, 3, and that just becomes 316. So to get rid of the decimals, you just look for the one that has the longest decimal, count how many decimal places it has, and for each decimal place you add a 0, and so it could be 10, it could be 100, it could be 1,000, it could be 10,000, depending on how many decimal places the number goes. Now that we've done this, if we take a quick look at these are all even numbers, so we could divide this by 2. So 360 divided by 2, let's just take out our calculator. So 360 divided by 2, so this is 180. Well, 200 divided by 2 is just 100, and finally 316 divided by 2 is 158. These are still even numbers, so we can still divide by 2 again. So let's start with the 180. Oops. 180 divided by 2. So that's 90, and 100 divided by 2 is 50. And finally 158 158 divided by 2 is 79. Well, because of the 79 at the end here, I don't think we can go any further. So this is our final answer, 90 to 50 to 79. So because we've divided by 2 and divided by 2, if you multiply 2 times 2, we could have actually used the 4. So we could have actually have divided by 4. And that would have taken us to the final answer. So if we quickly do that, 360, 200, 316, divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4. Well, 4 into 360 is the 90, 4 into 200 is the 50, and 4 into 316 should be 79. That's our final answer. Okay. All right, so let's try another one of these decimals. So we've got 0.0025, 0.009, and 0.0485. So we've got the first number and the third number have 4 decimal places. So that means we're going to multiply these by 10,000. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this leaves us with 25. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll have to add a 0 and make that 90. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And that leaves us with 485. So this is a 5, a 0, and a 9 at the end, 25 to 90 to 485. And so 5, 0, and a 9 means we can divide by 5. Well, 5 into 25 is just 5. And let's see, what's 90 divided by 5? That is 18. And finally, the 485 divided by 5 is 97. So we're left with 5 to 18 to 97. I think because of the 90, well, yeah, nothing was going to go into 5, 18, or 97. So this is our final answer. Okay. Let's try one with fractions. So in this one with the fractions, we've got 3 over 8 to 7 over 8 to 5 over 8. We are fortunate enough that each bottom of the fraction is already 8. That's the first step when dealing with fractions, is to make the bottoms all the same. If the bottoms are all the same, what we can do is just strike out the 8s and go with 3 to 7 to 5, and that's our answer. And the only reason that's the answer is because we had 8s on the bottom. So there we go. That's what we do when the bottoms of the fractions are all the same. We can just eliminate the bottoms. We don't even have to change these fractions to decimals. We can just eliminate the bottoms, eliminate the 8s, and just leave us with the ratio on top. And so 3 to 7 to 5, and no number will go into 3, 7, and 5, so that is our final answer. Let's try one more with a fraction. We've got 3 to 4, 5 to 15, and 35 to 60. So what we can do here is we can try to get lowest common denominator where we make the bottoms all the same. Now we've got 60 and we've got 15 and we've got 4. So what you do is you start with the largest number and you ask yourself, will the other two bottoms multiply up to 60? Well, in this case, actually, the 4 and the 15 do multiply up into 60. And if you actually multiply 15 times 4, you actually find that it is 60. So since this first one is 4, we want to multiply it by 15. But you also need to multiply the top by 15. So you multiply the top and the bottom by 15. And then, so 15 times 3, 45. And 15 times 4 is 60. Now, this one's 15, so as we just proved, 15 times 4. So to make this middle fraction 60, we want to multiply that by 4. But again, we have to multiply the top by 4. So 4 times 5 is 20, and 4 times 15 is 60. And the third and final fraction is already 35 over 60. Since it's already over 60, we don't need to do anything to it. Once we have our fractions where the bottoms are all 60, we can just go cancel out all the 60s and just rewrite it without the bottoms. So then our ratio is 45 to 20 to 35. And so what number will go into 45, 20, and 35? Well, 5 will, so divide by 5, divide by 5, divide by 5. 5 into 45, well, 5 times 9 is 45. 5 into 20, 5 times 4. And 5 into 35, well, 5 times 7. And this is our final answer, because 9, 4, and 7, nothing will go into 9, 4, and 7. All right, so this has been a presentation of the Wise Guys Tutoring. If you have any questions, you can get a hold of Ron Hammerling in D110 or at the phone number at the bottom here. Thank you, and have yourself a good day.